Hello everybody, Haji Yusuf with the Minnesota Wired. I have a guest with you, a very important guest, and he'll be joining me shortly, right now in about 1 minute. He's one of the biggest East African social media influencers with close to about 6 to 7 million followers on Snapchat. He's also a very close, shall I say close? Let's say he's also my brother. And we're gonna have this great conversation. I don't want to say his name right now, but once he walks in, I'm gonna introduce you guys to this amazing, powerful, influential, inspiring brother that I have known in Minnesota for a long time. And we also have other connections, but really I want you guys to get to know this guy and get to meet this guy. He's amazing. So he's on his way and he will be joining us, and we're gonna have this great conversation with this guy. And I don't want to say his name until he walks in and sits next to me. That's what I'm gonna talk about. Hello.
Hey!
How you doing, brother?
Brother,
what's going
MashaAllah.
on? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too,
Much
man.
love, man.
What's going on?
Give me a hug. You got a mask on. What's going on?
Throw that away.
Which one is which?
Let's throw that away.
Well, most of you from anywhere in East Africa or in the state of Minnesota or in the US, and you speak Somali, Swahili, and many other languages, you probably know this guy.
Before you do that,
Yes.
let's see it.
You're really gonna make me drink Fanta.
I know you're on diet. Anissa, I'm sorry about it. Today, my friend is going to have to drink some Fanta.
Why not? Why not? I'm drinking Fanta for the first time in about 8 months.
Nice. Sugar for you is good
Right.
sometimes. Alright?
Let's get hyper. Why not?
Yeah. I'm ready.
All right. This is. You guys ready for this? Drum rolls. Cooking who?
Cooking Iskoriis.
Oh, what are we missing though from here?
How come I can
Mohamed.
banana, but we got Fanta.
We have Fanta. We have Fanta. Why not? So, bro,
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to appreciate you
Thank you, bro.
for giving me this opportunity
Thank you.
to talk to you.
You're my brother, man.
And I've been not only, that's very important. We're brothers.
Yeah.
But more than anything, you have inspired me
Thank
in so many ways, and
Mashallah.
I've heard a lot of people that you have inspired.
Alhamdulillah.
Even through your cooking, through what you do personally,
Yes.
and among many other outreach things that you do for the community.
Yes.
Not only here, but even back home in East Africa, in Kenya, in Somalia, and many other places.
Alhamdulillah.
So you're not just one thing guy. You are this guy that is just hands spread, goodwill hands spread all over, and it's amazing, bro. And
I
it's
try.
very inspiring.
I tried.
So we're gonna start with cooking stories.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And where did that come from, bro? Because I know I've known you for 20 years,
Yes.
for many years,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And here you are, you've got these millions of followers just looking at you, following you. Every morning you make something special, you travel and do all these things.
Yes.
Man, where is that inspiration coming from, bro? Like, where did it start?
So, cooking Iskoriis was just something I made up. But the originality of it is like, my mom used to call me all the time, Iskoriis batai, kale ashe. I'm like, I already ate, because I used to love outside food. Being raised in Africa, they have street foods and everything, so I used to eat every time. I remember one time my mom, we traveled from Mombasa to Dar es Salaam. And my mom never eats outside food. She will die before she eats outside food. And she saw me just eating everything on the street when the bus stopped somewhere. I would grab things from the window and everything. So she kept, since I was young, she kept saying Iskoriis, Iskoriis. So when I started my Snapchat, I was like, what name should I give it? Because I started, before even Snapchat and everything, people used to come to say, hey man, we are hungry, can you cook for us? We'll bring groceries. Oh, my friends and everything. And every time I cook, people will finish, people will lick their fingers, people will be like, damn, I get these praises. And I was like, what? Then somebody said, oh, why don't you open a Snapchat? And I have a video of my first Snapchat I did, right? I said, my name is Mohamed, and
Introduction.
I am cooking today. You know, I didn't put a name. Then one night I was like thinking of like cooking with Iskoriis or cooking Iskoriis. Then I set up cooking Iskoriis. And from that time it was like fun because it started on my Snapchat like 13 people. Oh, 26. Oh, 75.
So the cooking part, okay, so the part where you said I can cook.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Like, did you see your mom making, mother making food? Did you have neighbors?
I was
I mean,
always,
maybe is it the Mombasa scene, the street food? What is it like? You know?
I was always inspired by different food, different ethnics. Because when you grow up in Mombasa with the Portuguese culture, Indian culture, Somali culture, Arab culture, Swahili culture, all these mixed up together, you get different kinds of food. I mean, you can walk around the coast of Kenya and see all kinds of different foods that you can eat, and it's amazing. So I was fascinated by that, you know, and I built my passion more when I opened Cooking Iskoriis, because now I was like, oh, they can't see Berisi Hilip only.
Right.
They want to see more.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And they see more.
Yeah.
And they see more. That's the most amazing thing. So so people watch you, and I see you of course you're updating people every day. You're on Snap, you know.
Yeah.
But what is the most thing that you hear people say to you? You know, that is like that makes you more inspired. Like, what do you hear from your audience?
Oh my God.
What is the response from your audience?
Oh my God, I used to write like, this channel is the channel that makes you cry. Because I promise you, even if I don't cook, right, you get these messages that are humbling, you get these messages that are killing your heart. Oh, I have a cancer, I have not eaten, but every time I look at your food, I have an appetite. Oh, thank you. Me and my wife, our relationship is getting better because my husband now cooks because what he saw from you. You know, you see kids in the kitchen saying, let's get motivated. Oh, mahakamakan. So it's amazing, wallahi. You hear so many stories, I can tell you a lot, you know. But the beautiful thing about my show or my Snapchat is that apart from cooking, we inspire people. We motivate people.
Yeah.
We educate people, you know. This is not a Snapchat for twerking and showing people how to dance and all that stuff. No. You know, food is something amazing. It brings people together. It inspires people. It makes people happy.
And how many people do you have followers on Snapchat that average a month watch you? I want to get that right.
Over millions.
Over millions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah.
And I got that right. And apart, so with your Snap and your cooking, right?
Yeah.
You also give your time out to do cooking outside the Snap.
Yeah. I mean,
sharing with,
yeah.
you know, your cooking skills with organizations. I've seen a couple of times you've gone out of your way to do cooking for programs out there.
Yeah.
You know, talk about that. A lot of people.
Alhamdulillah, I am so blessed to be able to do this for free. I have never charged anybody any money in my life cooking, especially our community, because if something I have that is free and I have time for it, why not? I will do it. Sometimes, most of the time, alhamdulillah, I will spend. Alhamdulillah, I'm blessed enough to spend my own money to help in terms of, you know, kids graduating from madrasa or something special, you know, during Ramadan with all these mosques and masjids that need help for iftar and stuff like that, you know. So I've been blessed enough to do that because they reach out to me, and if I have time and I have the money or I have the time, even sometimes they sponsor their own food and everything. Alhamdulillah, I do whatever it takes.
That's amazing, man. And tell me, so I've been to Mombasa.
Yes.
I've seen you in Mombasa, and I've seen this variety of just what you talked about, diverse kind of type of cooking,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Man, how do you describe this? Like, you tell something, like you have a gift of explaining something, right?
Yes.
And can you explain to people about this place you have grown in just the street food and what it meant to you personally, like, you know?
It's very.
And every time you go back, how does that make you feel? Like,
You know, the community I come from, of the city I come from, the majority of the people are poor. You know, poor in a sense that whatever the little they have, they make use of it. You know, I mean, you can walk by and eat cassava that is fried with a little bit of chili and salt and lemon and tamarind, and you feel good eating it, and it's fulfilling. You know, but one important thing is this: with these people having this hardship, economic wise or money wise and everything, they're the happiest people I've ever seen. They are very contented with what they have. They eat fish. Or let's say, I'll give you an example. I never grew up rich. I grew up average family and everything. Like, my mom will chop kidneys with 2 tomatoes and 1 onion and put a little bit of spice, and the thing, you can put it on a shoe and eat it. That's how tasteful it is. You understand what I'm saying? So majority of us where we grew up with small things, but it was much more like flavorful. You know, we never grew up with cheese and stuff. We grew up with, you know, salt and chili and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, it's just amazing. And I've seen you even talk about in some of your snatch. Going back, I've seen you talk about that connection you have with your mother, you know, and just that neighborhood as well. And it's just, you know, it's a very powerful thing, and, you know, very inspiring.
Oh, yeah. My mom is known in the neighborhood and everything. God bless her. Ya Allah, Ya Kareem. God bless all the mothers,
I mean,
you know. Mothers. Oh, my mom. My mom has a whole room full of cooking stuff. She has a book. She used to have a book of how many people wanted her to cook for their weddings and stuff like that. You know, I will watch all that stuff, how she collects the firewood, how she does this. It's amazing. I mean, we live in a suburban area, but, you know, as you know, nothing tastes better than food cooked with firewood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
We grew up with gas
you'll never,
and everything.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with that, man.
Yeah.
Just the natural setting cooking as is supposed to be, you know? It makes even that food even more flavorful, man.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, you see, like, and it's a communal work. It brings, as I said, food brings people together. You see your aunt cutting onions. You see your other aunt cutting potatoes. You see your other aunt sorting out the grease and all the trash out. You know, so it's just a beautiful, beautiful
it's a coming together of community to cook. Even in weddings, man, you see, you know, families just, you know, from, you know, people who even strangers with each other, right? They come together and they all playing a role, like you said, you know, just doing this, that.
And you know,
it
funny,
comes together, man.
And funny you say that, because one time when I was single, my aunt used to say, I'm not gonna peel off your onions on your wedding, I promise you. I'm not gonna touch nothing if you don't do this for me. So it's kind of like a culture thing.
Right.
You know, your aunt and all that participate.
It's beautiful. In your snap and your cooking, you share with the whole world. You always give advice to people. Most of the time, inspiring. You know, giving people advice. And then now we know where the cooking came from. Now, where is that goodwill towards others comes from? You know, because it's very rare you see someone doing all these things at the same time, taking the time out and say, hey, you can't do this, you can't do, be careful, watch this, you know, be smart, you know.
I grew up with, you know, a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters. Since I was young, my dad used to let us hold each other's hand and walk. So in Mombasa, you'll have people with leprosy. They're missing fingers, hands, legs. There are people with buckets outside on the streets. And my dad will give us penny. I don't know if you know penny moja. All of us will get penny moja on their hands. And my dad will say, drop it on the bucket, drop it on the bucket, drop it on the bucket, drop it on the bucket. And then, you know, we were raised. My mom is the most amazing person to me. I mean, I see my mom give rice in a plastic bag.
The generosity comes from your family.
Yeah.
Where you feel, you know, you should always be out showing goodwill and being thankful for who you are, wherever you come from, but also sharing that gift of saying, hey, this is what I've been told and this is what I want to share with you.
Yeah. I used to have a relative, right? I was young. I was a teenager. And I just became like adult now, 14, 15. My lungs are building up, my ribs are like, I'm getting the teenage body. I used to have a relative who used to be on drugs. He will come to the house. My mom will feel bad for him, and he will give food and everything, and then he will steal the clothes and run away. We will get mad. And when he comes in, my mom will say, "Oh, well, I'll kill you, well, I'll kill you, So that's inspiration. Is like when you grow up, you understand. You know, things like that. It's like, oh my God. Just humbleness, the kindness, and my mom, and he never stole again and everything. So my mom kept being nice to him and everything, mashallah. That was one of the things I remember about my mom, because she will never give up, how bad that person was. She will always make sure that he eats with us on the same plate. She will never discriminate. He will get juice, food, salad, everything we get, he gets. And this guy, if you look at him, you run away from him. And that's what I was like. And this thing came like 10, 15 years ago, remembering all those things my mom did.
Those kindness, carry over, you know.
Yeah,
those,
and you understand. You know, like when you're young, you learn. When you grow, you understand.
Right. It's true.
You get what I'm saying? So with these things, you understand. Like, you know, and now I'm a grown age in the 40s, and I'm like, I have co-workers, sometimes they do something bad to me, but I don't revenge. I show them more kindness. Why? Because I represent a human being. I represent a Somali, a Muslim person, a man of integrity. I represent Jamal, me, and everything.
Okay, so that kindness, right?
Yes.
You have been a Minnesotan.
Yes.
For a long time, man.
Yes.
Tell me, has Minnesota changed, do you think, from the time you've been here until today? I'm going to ask you another question that is related to that.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's why.
How? Okay, go ahead.
I mean, we own more business. We are much more smarter. We have better credit. You know, we have uplifted our life. You get what I mean? We have more educated youth. You know? So it's amazing. The economy is run by the Somalis here in Minnesota. Without the Somalis, I don't think the economy will do anything.
And the Somalis are...
Okay, let's take it.
So I'm talking about kindness, you know, and
Yes.
you being kind, and you got this background of kindness, and you talk to people in such a kind of way. You are inspiring them. You're talking to them, right?
Yep.
Right now, one of the things that you mentioned was you know, the story of the Somali Americans in Minnesota, right?
Yes.
And one of the challenges that we have right now is the opioid crisis.
Yes.
What's your view on this? What do you hear? You know, what do you think we can do to save the youth in the state of Minnesota?
Oh, it's a very, very tough, hard. I lost so many people that I'm related to, and that I know from this opioid pandemic. My sister works for the Janaza board here in Burnsville, where most of the Muslims in Minnesota get buried. And I'm in the WhatsApp group, and every day you will see Abdi 23 overdose, Fatima 25 overdose. Here's the problem. We need parents to step up, raising our kids. I don't care if you're married, I don't care if you're not, but if your father, if your mother, whether you are together or not, be involved in your child's life. Be involved in your child's life. Most of us are not involved. In our community, when you divorce a woman, you divorce the kids. But when you divorce the husband, get him or her involved. This involvement with parents is very important, I promise you. Right now, my memories, my dad used to carry me, take me to the deep water every Sunday. I mean, he will know everything I'm doing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
He was at this. You know that video on social media right now, the lady where she runs on the line on the soccer game.
Right.
That's my dad. You get what I'm saying? So he was involved, soccer, swimming, everything. He was involved. My mom was involved too. My mom used to say, "If I don't tell your dad, you will see." my God, I will start shaking because I know my dad is the disciplined guy.
Right. Right.
We need to get involved. We need community outreach. We need our community to understand the behaviors and the ways these kids are living. We need to change habits. Our culture is beautiful, but some of it is not. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So it needs to change. But the most important thing is starts at home. You
Right.
better look at your kids and everything. You're a father.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
I've seen you play with your kids. I've seen you do homework with the kids. Well, I'm not bragging about because of the TV or
Right.
anything. I'm just saying the truth. I've seen it with my own eyes. You got what I mean? You're involved in everything. Inshallah
You have to
ta'ala.
spend.
You know,
You have to
you
spend
have
it
to
and listen
spend
to them.
money.
You have to.
You have to spend time. Get involved in your family and your kids.
That's true.
You know? It's very important, man. That thing makes me sad right now, I promise you. It's just-
So what is the most request that you get to make when you're making food? Like, what is the number one thing people always wanna? Do you just go one day and decide, I wanna do this, or is it more like, man, let's do this? Okay, personally, from what I've heard, one of the stories that I've heard, hey, cooking Iskoriis is cooking outside today, and have you seen that meat? Have you seen that meat? The one time you cooked outside and
Yeah.
you cooked on that. And everybody's like, man, when am I gonna get an invite? I've heard people say that. No, seriously, like, we should go there. We should go meet with him. We should go eat there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are the most requests you get on a specific thing and what is your favorite thing you like to make?
Oh God.
So many.
If
It's
you
not
gi-
one.
It's no one. You can't say. My favorite food, is chapati and beans.
Yes.
Chapati and maharagwe, madondo. I'm all yours, baby, with that. I can eat that 30 days a month.
Yes.
Another important thing is so here's how I do it. Depends on the season. It depends on the market, what's available. It depends on what my taste bud feel like. Somalia used to just barbecue is chicken. That's it. It's very hard to get halal beef. Unless you know where you're getting it.
Right.
Unless you know if this cow was slaughtered a year ago,
Right.
even if it's halal, or just yesterday. So it depends on, you just got to do a little bit of research, get to know where your vendors or suppliers are, talk to them, know your butcher, all that stuff you got to understand. And one secret I'll tell you, when you go buy meat or anything, tip your butcher and see the miracles you're going to get. $5 can do a lot of miracles, I promise you.
Ah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because he's going to give you the fresh chicken that came today, rather than the chicken that is in stock in the fridge. So many things you can check. But a lot of people come for the chicken and the beef, especially the beef ribs. They love it, So let me tell you a story. My second barbecue I ever did in Minnesota, this is 2017. I told people my location. They came, hundreds of them, maybe like 300 to 500 people. They even took the raw meat with them.
Oh my.
They invaded me. I was like,
There was nowhere. I heard about that incident.
Oh my
That's the
God,
one that
like-
people were you were swamped all
people
over.
took over my cooking. People did everything. They pushed me. They did everything. And people just started grabbing all the raw meat. Said, I'll cook it myself. All the food that was cooked, they already finished it. It was funny as hell. And I said, no, from now onwards, I'm going to be very careful how I invite
Go
people.
about it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's man. Minnesota, man, it's changing a lot.
Yeah.
Especially even the food culture, right?
Yes.
There's a generation that came here. We had the fast restaurants,
Yep.
early 2000s, 99s,
Yep.
and then after that you have more and more restaurants popping up everywhere, and you go to a lot of them.
Yes.
One, I want to ask you your favorite. Am I going to put you in trouble if I ask you for your favorite restaurant?
No.
All right, and then number two, what I want to ask you is, what is the future for Somali food? Like for what you make, and also for the Somali restaurants, the kind of food that they make. Having new generation that are being born here, do you think they'll keep this, or this will disappear? The style of cooking. First of all, Let me ask you. I want to ask you.
Yes.
Which is your favorite restaurant?
Wallahi, it's not Somali.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Which
to
is
say
okay.
that.
Which is okay. Perfect. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good answer. It's an honest answer.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
my honest answer.
Right.
You ask me for my favorite.
Right. Right. Right.
If you ask me for my favorite Somali restaurant,
Your favorite restaurant and favorite Somali restaurant. How about that?
okay. My favorite restaurant will be Malaysian cuisine. The Malaysian cuisine in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Somali, I can't even tell you because it's so hard.
It's
so hard.
It's
for
really
me.
hard. Trust me.
I swear. It's
Somali, man.
It's
There's
hard.
very few restaurants.
I don't want to put people on the spot. You won't
Right.
get me in trouble.
No, but I mean every Somali restaurant they make amazing food, man.
They do, but everybody has a
right,
special
you
one.
know, yes,
something
yes,
special.
I know. The people that that's. I mean, and it's hard to say which one because, I mean, they're so different. But it's
I know.
Do you think Somali food will be like Chinese food? They'll have like takeaway, like delivery, like that. Like.
Oh, I'm sure in 10,
you know what
20
I mean?
years.
Like a buffet.
I don't think. I think our generation
Right.
is the last generation.
Of eating the way Somali food is being cooked, right?
And that's why I opened Cooking Iskoriis, because I wanted to preserve that culture.
Yes, yes.
Because nowadays beris you put beris and cheese.
Yeah.
Beris with some other stuff that you don't even know where it came
Right.
from. So it's like, it's crazy, man. I don't even know.
Well, you're not specific. You personally, you're not specific on your Somali food, but you make this diverse kind of food, though. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you are you have this infusion of East African, like you said, all these cultures together with Somali food.
Yes, but the beauty about my food is this, right? I'm not bragging or anything. Is that there is authenticity.
Yes, really.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
There
100%.
is something called.
It's not restaurant food.
Yeah,
It's not.
it's something that's oh my God, I remember that.
Yes.
People when they watch it, be like, oh my God, my mom used to make it.
Right.
Oh my God, you used to make it. And that's where I come from, because I never use cheese. I know I've mentioned cheese like 50 times,
Yes.
but I'm just saying like an outside food,
Yes.
like that is not in our culture. We have cheese that we used to eat with, bastard forno, all that stuff
Right.
way back, but it was real Italian cheese or homemade cheese.
Right.
But my food is unique. The reason it's unique is because you can see and you can tell each piece of the food. You can say, okay, nice rice, it has this spice. Oh, nice meat.
Colorful.
Yeah. Oh,
And
fish.
it's very colorful though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of color and spices. You use authentic handmade food. You don't get spices already made. That's the thing. Like everything that you make your food with is you make it yourself.
Yeah.
You go get the spices, you get all these things, you mix them like literally by hand.
I'm gonna give you.
You don't even use.
I'm gonna tell you a secret
Right,
about cooking, right?
right.
If you use fresh, you use less. If you use fresh, you use less money. If you use fresh, you have more flavor. So if you use your spices and you get it from the store, that spices was harvested about 3-4 years ago. It went through the drying season, the packaging, staying on the shelf, the shelf life 2-3 years before you see it at Costco or whatever you go and see it. When you get fresh ground pepper, let's say example, and you grind it yourself, the oils, the aroma, all the things are in there perfect.
Absolutely.
And it smells much more better.
I smell it just watching it, bro.
Yes.
I'm not even there, but I can tell. But just the color that you have, and
The rule of the law is you gotta have a rainbow color on your
right?
plate.
Yes.
You get what I mean? I am a very good fan of having colors on my food because 80% of the people eat with their eyes.
Right.
What you see is what you eat. 20% is what you eat. But
Right.
once your eyes are impressed, the food will flow, bro.
And you eat with your hand, by the way.
Oh.
It's a culture. I mean, can you explain that to people? A lot of people don't understand. Why do we eat? You see Africans, East Africans mostly, especially, Arabs, Muslims, Somalis, Indians, all these people have a big plate, they eat together. you explain that? I know you've explained that, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't even eat. I don't like even eating on the table. I only do it because the camera and the lighting is better. But most of the time, if you ask my sister, whoever lives with me or has lived with me on it, I like eating on the floor because you get humbled. That's when you are created. You go down
It's a different
and you
connection.
eat. You make a connection. I don't eat with my shoes most of the time because when you connect your feet with your ground, you make a good connection to earth and you eat well. But let's talk about your hands. Your hands, you can move it however you want it, move your food, cut your food and everything. Second thing is you have enzymes on your hands that immediately your taste buds start stimulating. It stimulates digestive enzymes on your fingers.
So
Did you know
this
that?
pre-digestion process starts before the moment you put your hand in your rice.
Yeah.
That got the spices and all this. It's true.
You see what I mean? So when you do that and you put your hand in your mouth and those enzymes and everything, they get in there, they help you with digestion. You need good bacteria and all that. It's fulfilling. When you eat with your hands, you feel faster than when you eat with the spoon. Because you don't know, your spoon, you can eat the whole day. Pa, 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 pa. But when you eat with your hand, you know you can get full quicker than when you eat with the spoon. That's just theory. But me, my food tastes better. My spices taste better. I can't taste no spice with the spoon. You know what I mean? So it's just a natural thing to do. We were born to eat with our hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's true. There's no connection with the spoon a lot. You
No,
know,
there's no
it's you know you
connection.
can feel that there's a gap. There's a missing connection between
Yeah.
you and the food.
Yeah.
You know.
And let me tell you, just the other day I saw something amazing. There was a guy who was being followed by detectives to get his DNA. He went to a restaurant. I mean, this guy will smoke and cut his cigarette and put it in his pocket. This guy will sneeze, check and he will put it and he will burn it because the detectives were trying to get his DNA, right? So he went to a restaurant and he ate a dessert with a spoon and he forgot the spoon to throw it or hide it. So immediately he stood up to pay. One of the detectives came and grabbed the spoon and put it in a nice safe bag and went to get the DNA. You know what they found? Nearly 15 DNA on that spoon.
Different kind.
Different kinds.
Because different people ate with it.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy, scary, man.
I know people live in the same house and
Right,
everything,
yes.
and it's okay for the DNA to change and everything. But just
Some
imagine.
people, yeah.
You
There's no security of hygiene as well.
There's nothing. This is your. God bless you
Right.
with this.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You know, you can't cut meat the way you want to. You can't cut the chicken. You're gonna use a knife. This. No, you gotta cut. Take it off the bone. Take the bone, squeeze it, suck it, whatever you want to do. And this is what you're given.
Okay, apart from the cooking part,
Yes.
Toyota, Burnsville Toyota. You've made an impact on a lot of people's life at Burnsville Toyota. I think you are one of the first people to even conceptualize the idea of offering Muslim community in Minnesota,
Yes.
the idea of zero interest.
Yes.
Explain, man. I want people to hear this, you know. I mean,
So I'm blessed, alhamdulillah. I've been
Yes.
with this company for about 8 years, going to the 9th year now. I was trying to get an oil change at Nissan, and Toyota was next to it, and I entered Toyota instead of Nissan. I had a Nissan at that time, and the guy offered me a job, and I just came from an interview. He saw me with the tie and everything, and I got a job. So I was blessed enough to work for a company that provides 0% interest. I mean, true zero. There is nothing down, under, or hidden or anything. It's a true zero. What true zero means, this thing is $20 plus tax, divide by whatever months you want to pay. That's what true zero is about. And I've been blessed with that. And that's why, like in the Midwest, alhamdulillah, the last 3-4 years, I've been one of the top salespeople in the Midwest area because of the support I get from my community. I get a lot of support and I'm very thankful. I'm humble. It works two ways. I help them.
it's true.
They help me with the business, but I make sure I help them and they have the best. Like, I'm blessed enough to have these people. You know, apart from selling cars, right? You think selling cars or helping the community buy cars and everything is just the job. It's not about that. You know, I educate people about credit. I educate people about valuing their asset. I educate people about the important programs that are available for them. You understand? Okay, apart from that too, I inspire and motivate people. You'll have a husband who has 700 credit score and the wife has 400 credit score. And the husband is putting a $40,000 car under his name by himself. And sometimes politely I advise them, listen, Abu, Goberta, this credit carry, let's put the girl's name in the deal. You're gonna be the co-signer, she's gonna be the co-buyer, the buyer, and both of you live in the same household and her credit will be up. They're very happy. Most of them have no idea that they can do that, because we need to raise awareness how to build credit with our mothers. These mothers who come here with their parents, because tomorrow anything can happen. The husband can die, the wife can die, whatever. They need to stand on their own.
Credit is important in this
Credit
country.
is important.
It's very important in this country.
You know?
I know you people, Muslims, us, you know, the Muslim community, some of it, not all
Yeah.
of them, try to avoid interest, you know, or they think it's haram. Or, it's true, you know, you can do that. But credit is also important in this country.
In this country, credit is important. My advice to you is that
I am not the most educated guy on this issue, but I mean, you have a lot more knowledge than I am. But go ahead.
I can be honest with you 100%. Like, and this is funny. Now, I'm not putting anybody down, okay? You're going to have somebody come in and say, I don't want to pay interest. Sure. How's your credit? Oh, I don't have credit. Okay, I can help you. Maybe you have a bigger down payment, or maybe you have some kind of a job that pays really well, and we'll figure out if Toyota will do something for you. Okay. You have been approved at 0%. Sure. How would you like to pay your down payment? Oh, my credit card. Credit card is interest. So what I mean with this is this. Listen, I'm not trying to be hypocritical. What I'm trying to say is this. We live in a country that you need credit. We live in a country that you can never live without getting credit. With that said, the decision is on you. The decision is totally on you. I am not pushing anybody to buy interest, to do this, to do that. No. How you want to live your life is on you. But I just want to let you know that it's going to be very tough in this country to live without credit.
Even renting a space, man. Not even buying, you know. These days, they have to check your credit if you want to rent a home. You know, they have to check your credit if you want to rent even a car.
Bro, what are you talking about? Insurance.
Yes. The rate you pay.
I used to pay $210 insurance. Never got a ticket in my life. Until now, never got a ticket. Never got an accident. Never, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Everything, right? 6-7 years ago when my credit was bad, I used to pay $210. Now I pay $81 full coverage with 300,000 bodily injury, all this other stuff. And I have the best insurance. Because I built my credit. Credit is important. It saves you money. That's the fact. You get 0%, low credit, this. You get all kinds. Now, here's the most important thing. Tomorrow, if something happens and you have good credit, you have ways and means to get money. You have ways and means to buy something. I promise you, credit is very important.
Toyota, man. Burnsville Toyota.
You know it. You know.
The other time I saw you had a special guest that came to Toyota, and some of the community came to Toyota, and you were getting them a vehicle, and there's one guy that was
Yes. The mashallah, the North American Quran competition.
Right.
They came to me. They asked me, hey, can you help us with this? I went to talk to the owner. Alhamdulillah, we gave them an amazing deal. I've never seen anybody get that deal. Never, alhamdulillah. And they promised to come every year, because there's a kid that won the competition and he was rewarded or awarded with that Highlander. And you know, they knew me from before, like, alhamdulillah.
You have an extensive connection to the community anyway.
I mean,
you know what I mean? So when you
nearly
know, 15 years.
24, the Masjid 24, Carmel, Burnsville. They have like 4 or 5 cars from me. All these are the imams and everything know me very well, alhamdulillah. You know, and the connection I get from them is amazing. I mean, the community supports me. That's no doubt about it. And I'm very proud of them. Like, the community supports me. Look, as a minority, I deal with a lot of challenges. You know,
Let's talk
as you
about
all
that.
know.
Let's talk about. I mean, if you're okay, you can talk about that.
Yeah, of course. Like, you know, of course, you know that, you know, there's always challenges as a black person, as a Somali person, as a minority person, you know. But when you have a community that stands behind you, you say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because, you know.
But you know that comes from yourself too. That what you put in yourself is what you reap, man. If you put in goodness, if you put in so much positivity, if you're putting in so much, you know, of your time and contributing to the success of a community, you get it back, bro. People eventually come around to the idea, man, this guy is a nice guy.
Yes.
This guy is the guy, man, and I want to support him, you know. So with Burnsville Toyota, this guy is always at Burnsville Toyota.
Burnsville
If you want to
Toyota.
buy a car, if you want to find out if you can buy a
Backyard.
car, if you want get educated on your credit and the process, if you're confused about anything about interest and buying a vehicle, find this guy, man.
Yep.
You can find it.
And if it's morning and you come see me and it's early and you're drinking your cup of coffee or tea,
bring it.
make sure you bring one for me.
That he loves coffee in the morning. So always bring your coffee with him when you come and see him. But man, it's been great talking to you, bro.
Anytime, my brother.
You
You
are-
know,
man,
always. You're
amazing
just one
guy.
phone call away, bro.
I have a quick question, man.
Yes.
You know the guy by the name of Hassanan?
Yes. That's my younger brother.
You know me, him and I are brothers too.
I know, everybody. You know, like, look, every time.
You forgot you're my brother.
I know. Let me tell you something, right? When I used to go like places and everything,
Yes.
right? Everybody's like, Haji. I'm like, who's Haji? Haji. Who's Haji? I never had a beard, right?
Right.
And I know this, everybody keeps saying, Haji. Haji. I'm like, who's Haji?
Yes.
Aren't you Haji from St. Cloud? I'm like, no, that's my brother, man.
So, tell people about your snack. So it's just cooking Iskoriis.
Cooking Iskoriis, inshallah.
Right.
Watch it out, inshallah, and see what's up. Right now, I'm gonna have a mission, and you know, I'm staying focused because you gotta prioritize things. Right now, I'm staying focused and I have a mission. I'm working very hard. Inshallah, when I'm settled in a little bit, when I settle in a few months, that's when you're gonna know the real cooking. Inshallah. If you wanna know my Snapchat,
And I'm gonna share that with people
that's
as well.
right there.
I'll share, when I edit this, I'll put this together. I'll share that. That's him right there. Get it before it's too late.
Yep.
Join in. Thank you, my brother.
Yep, I just posted something like an hour ago. So, listen, guys, I want to say something. Like, when it comes to somebody who like straightforward and want to do good, and when it comes to something that is about the community, and we all know that working for the community, or if you work for the city or the state or the community or anything, there is no pay. You guys know that. But when you have somebody who deals with the community, you thought I deal with food and helping the community and everything. There are other things, you know. Let's say somebody right now got violated by police. Guess who's the first person you're gonna see? Let's say a woman has been kicked out of the building because of this and this. Guess who's the first person you're gonna see? Anything that has to do with the community. And you know very well that there's no money. You don't get the reward for that. The only thing you're doing it is because you just want to do something nice for the community, and you have the brain, the means, and everything to help people. It's not about me or the food. Sometimes look at the other person and see what they bring to the table. And for that is why I love this guy. I'm serious, because how many years you know this guy fighting for the St. Cloud community, fighting for the Minneapolis community, fighting for every right or wrong. He will travel from St. Cloud at night, come demonstrate here over somebody who got jailed. This is all before Black Lives Matter and everything. This is way back. This is not now. This is 10 years plus of experience in dealing with community activity and all that stuff. So, my word to you is this. There are good people out there. There are people that do it from their heart, not because of money, not because of bullshit. Let me be honest. And he's one of them. I will always support this guy, I promise you that. And I always trust him with my life because I know him. I know him very well. And if you know me very well, I know bullshit from a mile away. So if you're bullshit, I'll just erase you out of my life. But he's in my life now. And he's always been. So please, make sure you understand somebody. Because you know what? You might learn something, one or two. Thank you for all your time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that for you saying all that, bro.
Yeah?
That means a lot.
That's
You don't
for
get to hear that. A lot of people say that.
They don't
those
know
things,
you.
know.
They
so-
don't know you.
But it's thank
If
you.
they know you,
Appreciate
then
it.
they'll understand.
Right. All right, this is Haji Yusuf with Minnesota Wild. That was cooking Iskoriis. And we got to finish off with our toast. I
Yay!
appreciate your time, bro.
Anytime,
I love
bro.
you, man. Thank
You
you
know?
very much. Thank you.